So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are here for the LinkedIn for Students workshop. And today it's my privilege, and we are very excited to have our special guest. I always believe that these workshops are even more valuable when we have employers like Sean Williams here today. Sean carries with him a lot of great professional background and experiences, and definitely utilize this time with him and ask him as many questions as you'd like. We'll be very interactive, and feel free to stop us throughout the presentation. I will be sending a copy of this presentation to each and every one of you after the presentation, so don't worry about having to take a ton of notes, and then we'll go from there. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Sean to introduce himself and let him know a little bit about who he is and how he can help us today.
Thank you so much, Jay. Yes, as Jay said, my name is Sean Williams. I'm with Stoladi Property Group. I've been at Stoladi Property Group for about 5 years now. Before that, I was in the legal industry, handling HR and different matters like marketing and paralegal, all types of jobs. And I really wanted to be a part of this because LinkedIn was actually a really great tool for me in my career. I grew up in Florida and wanted to transition to Washington, D.C. because I knew opportunities here were much greater. And so one of the first things I did was create a LinkedIn profile and started to make connections. And those connections actually brought me up here. So that's how important LinkedIn is and how it can change your life. So I'm excited to engage with you all and provide some information and hopefully help you in your futures.
Great. Thank you, Sean. And just as Sean said, the connections and getting connected is very key. And that's a great story that he has on how he was able to get connected and come over here to the Washington, D.C. area. So, again, we're going to go through a lot of information, but again, feel free to stop us and ask us questions throughout. And so why should you even use LinkedIn? There's many different reasons, but here's one. 70 to 80% of the jobs are found through networking. You'll hear me and a lot of other people say network. There's also something that they call oftentimes the hidden job market that's out there too. And LinkedIn is a great tool to utilize to find individuals you can speak to based on your interest and the profession you're looking for.
Yep. Just with the networking, I know there's a lot of jobs that people apply on LinkedIn for, and people will get kind of discouraged because you don't hear back sometimes from those jobs. It is a good tool for applying for jobs as well, but it's more of a greater tool for networking, as Jay said. So you may apply for a job, and when you apply for that job, try to see who is posting that job and find connections within that company that then you want to connect with on your LinkedIn profile. And that will kind of help with some of the things we're going to talk about today in Jay's wonderful slides that he made. Just really kind of get that connection going to get you those jobs.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sean, for sharing that. There's 30 million companies that are listed. It's probably even greater than that now on LinkedIn. 20 million job openings and 100 million job applications submitted just each month. Yep. It's only in 1 month. And then I know from my own personal experience as a recruiter in the past, more than 95% of the recruiters use LinkedIn regularly. Always pretty much on a daily basis are on there. This is an important piece of LinkedIn. So oftentimes when you create your LinkedIn profile, it'll give you your own URL so that employers like Sean can get to you. Sometimes it'll put like these numbers in here or these extra codes, which will make it a lot more difficult. If you like gave Sean a copy of your resume and it had the LinkedIn in there, he would have to type all of those and perfectly correct versus just your name. And I understand if you have a common name, you might have to put a number in there, but maybe it'll hopefully only be one. Here is how you do it if you don't already know how to do that. So when you go onto your own profile, there's a public profile and URL here. You just click on the little pencil, takes you to a page that looks like this. Then it says edit your custom URL. Then you can go onto here and I can customize this. So if I wanted to change it to a totally different name, I could, but my name thankfully was not taken. So I just kept it at my name. If it was taken, I might put just one digit or one number in there so that you can easily find me. So that's an easy way to make that change. So I'm going to take that back out over here.
They are going to ask you for your LinkedIn handle. So as Jay's saying, it is very important to customize that because it also kind of shows them that you know the intricacies of LinkedIn and you know the importance of branding yourself.
So we have professional headshots. So we have thankfully here, we have a headshot booth at our Costello College of Business. So if you are a student with the Costello College of Business, anytime that we are open, you can come on in and you can get a professional headshot. And it's highly encouraged. So if you look at these two photos, I don't know if any of you would say it's a nice photo of her holding the phone in front of her face. That's nice, but I don't think she would want to use that as her profile photo. So she thankfully came to our office and took a photo just like this.
Yep. I did a presentation with GMU a few months ago, as I was telling Jay, and I connected with a couple students after the presentation, and they reached out to me and said, "What can I do to change my LinkedIn profile?" So I looked at them, and some of them had these type of pictures, and I said, "You got to change that picture. Like, it's great, the expression, that's more for social media. This is a professional social platform." So yes,
Yes.
headshots are very important.
Yeah, so we're fortunate to have that booth. Feel free to come in
Yeah.
anytime, even if you like your current photo and you want to do something new and different, you can come in here and it's 36 times more. You'll get messages back and more profile views as well. So this is how the booth looks. If you come into our office, you can get it on demand and you can take as many photos as you want to. So the LinkedIn banner, I've talked a lot about it. So when you see someone's LinkedIn profile, you not only see their profile picture, but you also see a banner in there. And this is, I think, the general banner that comes out on everyone's. You can use Canva or any other things or to create a word cloud. You can put George Mason on there or something that captures the attention and something that's professional and again would make it look appealing to an employer that's looking at you and captures who you are. Sean, any thoughts on these banners?
Definitely, you want to. I really like the Henrietta Mitchell data analyst one because it's restating the individual's name and it's stating what their skills are, what their technical side is. So anything that's really going to stand out and again draw attention in these blank profiles that is on the left side. Employers look at those and they're like, I kind of want to say laziness. Oh, well, they just have their profile. They didn't do much with it. Now, it may not be lazy. It may be that you want your privacy, and that's totally understandable. But if you're going to use a social network, it's expected that you're going to have your image out there, that you're going to have some information because you're trying to get that attention back for jobs.
So these are some things about the headline. Make it your own again. Don't just put student at George Mason University. A lot of people will do that. They probably can already see that by looking at your education. And then instead, put things that say who you are. You're an auditor, you're a financial analyst, you're a budget specialist. So this is an example of an accounting student seeking positions in auditing, finance, and budget management. So it helps the person because when not only will they see your name, but they see your headline. Just a quick exercise for those of you who are on the line. If you'd like, if you could share on your on chat, what would your headline be, or how could you change your headline? I'll show you again. I'll switch here on LinkedIn. Mine is pretty simple. It's executive leadership coach, career advisor, HR consultant, curious learner. I wanted to add that, and organizational development professional. So anyone that sees me or looks at my profile, they'll see that's what I am advertising my brand and who I am.
Oh, very important. It's your brand. It's saying, who are you? I'm Sean Williams. I am the director of administration. So that is my skill. That is my technique. That is what when people are looking for people in jobs, they're going to look at me and be like, oh, well, he's got these skills. This is what he's looking for. This is the type of person we want.
But feel free to share throughout the presentation if you'd like. These are some examples. So these are some pretty good ones here as well. Just to give you a different flair of some of the different banners that people put on to showcase them. You can see Lynn over here. She has her photo, very professional, but then also she has the Costello College of Business, which she happens to be advertised on there as well. And then same thing over here with Danny, as well as Kelly and Madison. They're each showcasing their own original brand.
I'm curious if we can spend a minute on this. I'm curious what everybody's vote would be. Just looking at each of the four profiles,
Yeah,
what do your eyes go towards? Which one is drawing your attention that is kind of like, oh, I want to find out more?
it's a
Anybody
good
want to?
question.
You could put in the Teams chat if you want. Either Madison, Lynn, Danny, or Kelly. Let's see what people come up with if you guys want.
If they want, yeah, if you want, not forcing.
I'll say mine. My eyes immediately go towards Kelly's. It's
Yep.
bright. It's got like I know she's going to help out with resume assistance. She's got interview skills. She's going to be someone that is a good resource for any type of career stuff. Lynn, I look at and I go, okay, she's in the College of Business. Danny looks like he is very precise and likes clean design and is going to be very neat in his work. And Madison looks like she would be a very social person. But as an employer, my eyes go immediately to the resume assistance, the brightness, the kind of outgoing nature, and Kelly would have my vote. Let's see what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put in
yeah.
here.
That's and Antonio agrees with that. Draws my eyes the most.
Mhm.
Same thing with Tim.
Kelly, Danny. So we
Yeah,
got some different opinions. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Like
Couple
Jay
for
said,
Lynn.
no wrong answer. It's kind of what everybody is kind of looking at. So
Yeah, yeah. So
great.
again, make sure you make it yourself. Make it who you
Mhm.
are. That's the key.
Exactly.
So the about section, that's a really important section because this is really what you're telling me a little bit about who you are and what you bring to the table. So this is just a really good example. And again, we'll share this with you. But they talk about things that they're fascinated about regarding work since they were a child and soon to be management information systems graduates. So you can see that they're in school, going to be graduating, looking at business, and they highlighted in bold business analytics and cloud computing, and they built strong foundation through their courses, and mentioned some of the things they've done with Accenture, AWS, and they're passionate about turning complex data into meaningful solutions. Um, Sean, what are your thoughts about that about section here?
It's very important, especially on LinkedIn. I was thinking more about the cover letter part. I hate cover letters personally. I hate writing them. And as we've kind of gotten into the future here of 2026 now, when I was starting my career in the early 2000s, cover letters were still very important, especially for a college student looking for a job. Cover letters are not as important now. Employers really just want to look at the resume, see the experience and such, but it does depend upon the job. So there are some jobs out there that involve a lot of writing and creative writing. And that's where this is really going to be important because they're looking for some sort of sample of your writing. And your cover letter is an exact sample of how you can write. So this summarization that's going to be on LinkedIn is a great kind of start to that cover letter and summarizes briefly about your skills and your background.
Great, that's a great point, Sean. Thanks for sharing that. Here's some more tips about the about section. Again, as Sean kind of was saying, it's that intro, and it's similar to the cover letter. How would you introduce yourself to somebody, and then how would this differ from your about section on LinkedIn? How would it be the same
Mhm.
on there? The research job tips in your field and incorporate those keywords. So look at what the field is looking for. So as Sean had mentioned earlier, with even just the cover of Kelly's and how it immediately showcased some of the things and skills that she had that she could do. Same thing. Look at the job and look at what the job is looking for, and then kind of incorporate those skills into your about section.
Yep.
And you can also tie in your experience of paid, unpaid, and school to where you want to go.
Yeah, in one of my previous presentations, as I mentioned at George Mason, some students reached out about their LinkedIn and they don't have a lot of experience. You guys are still in school. That's totally understandable. But you want to include everything that you've kind of done, like he's got up here, experience, your student leadership, your involvement in and outside of school, whether you play soccer, whether you go to church, all those type of things kind of show a future employer, a potential employer, who you are and what all you do. You are involved in the community. even if you're just going to school, the fact that you're going to school, the clubs you're in, the classes you're taking, that's all information that's really important for employers. Don't be afraid to share everything that you're doing because we want to see that. We want to see your involvement.
Yeah, and definitely focus on your accomplishments, not just
Yeah.
what you did.
Yeah.
A lot of times, everyone, it's easy to put what you did, but remember, you're competing against the same people that did the same things that you have done.
Yeah.
So, what did you truly accomplish based on the task that you had to do? We talked in the past a lot about star statements, and that's again focusing on the accomplishments. So, if you look at this example, someone that says waited on tables and served food, that's again very boring and non-descriptive. Or anyone that's a waiter, that's what they do. Instead, they changed it up a little bit. And they used the situation, tasks, action, results, utilize strong communication skills, excellent order recall, and multitasking while serving 300 plus people per day, achieving 99% guest satisfaction score. And we know that you can't always put numbers because you don't always know the numbers, but as much as you can, definitely use the quantifying full numbers. Any
And you know what
additional?
a great tool is for this? AI.
There we go. There you
I
go.
was not a fan of AI. As I've started to use it more and more, I'm like, wow, it really does kind of take a lot of the deep thought away. But as AI may create it for you, you've got to go back and edit it, personalize it. That's very important. AI can spit out this wonderful summarization, but you have got to go back and make sure it makes sense and that it's personalized for you.
Yeah, that's great. There. So then we talk a little bit about education too. This is an important section as well, obviously. Um, it's not just your university degree, but it can include things like relevant skills that you learned. So as you can see here, this example, they showed cloud computing, Tableau, and then 12 plus skills that are on there. And the different clubs and societies that you're involved in, your honors and awards, GPA, projects, and coursework. So think about it broadly as you're really showcasing your education. Sean, any thoughts on the education piece?
Yeah, definitely put in the projects, the coursework. Like I said, a lot of you are students, so you may not have all that work experience that the rest of us have. That's okay because you're going to school and you have all of this wonderful experience that you're getting there. Share that. Employers want to look at that. It shows you're involved. It shows you're open to these different type of things. It shows your scores, GPA. That's very important. Yeah, the type of courses that you're taking. If you're, I don't know, if you're going into law and you're taking legal 101 and typing and all that, that all has to do with that field. And so we're going to want to see that.
We talked a little bit about the coursework and projects. So these are more things you can highlight on there. And here's why it's important. Again, it's showcasing hands-on skills that you have. So again, specifically try to tailor and look at what the types of jobs you want and use those same words if you can. And as Sean said, using AI can really, really help with that. And it helps you stand out. And you can add the different keywords and you can even attach media too. So if you're into marketing or you've done a great project and you can put links towards that so people can kind of actually see that and see your work.
Add to that point, an example for myself. I got my degree in management and organizational leadership. However, my career has been predominantly in HR. So, how did I get into director of administration? Part of that was demonstrating that my capstone project was to create a business from beginning to end to show finances, to show everything to do with the business, which allowed me to then get to my position today where I am managing marketing, IT, HR, legal, that sort of managing the business side of it. So talking about your capstone, putting down the research that you've done, you never know where that's going to lead you. That's very important that you always have that show.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. That's a great point, Sean, because look at where you are today and how you got there. And by sharing that information, people saw your skills, saw that it resonated, that it was transferable to the new opportunity in an even broader perspective. So these are licenses and certifications are always good too. So you all as students at George Mason have access to LinkedIn Learning. So anytime you take LinkedIn Learning courses, they can actually end up showing up on your profile as well if you'd like it to. Different things from Coursera, Udemy, Google certificates. So definitely search those out. And then when you get this presentation, you'll have a link that shows certificates options by concentration. So you'll be able to kind of see where you can find those opportunities.
Yeah, I've seen more and more potential employees taking these online certifications and classes, and it does make a difference. You can have your degree and your experience, but having these additional licenses and certifications that you're taking, it shows you're active. It shows you are engaging. You're keeping yourself fresh with the latest trends, the latest bit of information, because things are constantly changing every day, especially in HR and law. So keeping up on those things. I did not study IT. How do I direct IT? It was by me going and taking some IT classes online to kind of get the basics down to where I may not know how to program, but I can go to a computer, turn it on, get it set up, go program phones and get things going to help IT so I can better direct them and have an understanding of their needs.
Yeah, and that's a great example that Sean says. So sometimes you might see things or you're looking at jobs on LinkedIn and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have this skill, or how can I ever get this skill because I can't get a job that does it. These are great ways to do it and to at least get the basic knowledge so you can articulate and you can speak towards it if and
Yeah.
when you do meet the employer. So volunteering, as we already had mentioned too, that's very popular. A lot of people forget to put the volunteering experience in work. If you really look at a lot of organizations on LinkedIn and you research companies, many of them are very involved in the community. And so you want to show and resonate that you're not just a student that just goes to school or just works. You really want to build things and you help in your community. So anytime you can do that, and with your skills here at George Mason or elsewhere, it definitely shows that commitment to different causes, adds that depth to your profile. And you also might appear in searches based
Mhm.
on what you placed on there.
Mhm. Yep, you would be surprised, but employers do look at your community involvement. It just adds that extra information about you, like, okay, they're working, they're going to school, but this person's really involved in their community, that they really care. It just shows that extra, your attention just draws immediately to someone who is very involved and outgoing and active to someone who's just applying for a job who has the basic information. You're going to be drawn to that person who's really involved and active because as the employer, they're going to perform.
So here's some tips for it. Again, maybe look at relevant experiences. Doesn't mean you can't volunteer in things that aren't relevant,
Mhm.
but look at some things that could demonstrate those skills and those impacts that you're looking at. Like, so organizing events. So maybe they want someone who has that organization, or if you want to get some financial experience, maybe you're fundraising things or you're helping them with their books and so forth. A lot of different things that you can do. Again, continue to use accomplishment statements when you're doing that, adding any keywords, looking at the context, and again, as we have always mentioned, using the SMART location or STAR method. What is the result? What is the result of how you accomplish things?
Mhm.
And then any links to things like share your stories, being involved in the community, a picture with one of the community leaders if you've met them. And again, that resonates and it actually shows up when it goes into certain people's feeds as they go through it. So those are some tips there. Skills. This is again something that anytime you add a new job, but even outside of adding a new job on there, you can add up to 100 or so skills onto your profile. They can be attributed to different positions. You can reorder them if you want to. You can get endorsements as well.
Yes.
There's certain things where people can endorse you and say, I know Sean. Sean is great in leadership. Sean is really good with human resources. All the different things that he is. And what happens is when my connections see that, or if they come across Sean's page, they're going to be, oh, wow, okay, Jay was one of the ones that endorsed him. So it must be all right. It must be really good. And that's, again, where connections start to come. And people don't realize that when the algorithm goes and when people find you on LinkedIn, they find you based on those specific skills. And there's a way, and we might have time hopefully today here to show you how you can get alumni from George Mason University. That is also shaped by sometimes skills, and the different skills that people do, you can find them rather easily. There's a lot of these different tools like the Career Explorer tool, LinkedIn Learning, as I mentioned already too. But actually, I don't know if it's later in the presentation, but I can show you really quick right now as we go back to LinkedIn. If I were to look for George Mason University and then Costello College of Business. So if you haven't done this already, I would definitely do this. You go onto it, make sure you're following the page. Then you go here. You get to see a lot about it, just like any other company. So if I put Sean's company on here, I'd probably see something very similar with this company. But here I can look, and instead of alumni in Sean's page, it would be people. But on in a university, it's alumni. So if I go into the alumni site, it tells me right over here, there's 16,000 plus alumni on this site. It tells me where they work, where they live, what they do, and what they're skilled at. So if I really wanted to see someone who's working in finance, I can easily go into there, finance, and it tells me some of the folks, and I can start to look to see who's there. And if I know somebody, like if maybe Sean and I are connected and he knows Malik very well, then I could maybe say, hey, Sean, how well do you know Malik? And if he knows her well, and if we know each other well, he might help me to get that introduction. But we all do know that we do connect with people on LinkedIn that we don't know very well. But if you do know them well, definitely utilize that to your advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, ask for those endorsements. Utilize your friends because they know you as well. Endorsements are very important because, again, you send us our resume, I guarantee employers are online trying to find you, trying to find information, and LinkedIn is a huge place where we will go to look and see, do they have a profile? What is on their profile? Are they engaged? Something that Jay was just showing is on the George Mason University website, LinkedIn page. There's posts. You can respond to those posts. You can engage with those posts. That also demonstrates your writing skills. It shows your involvement. It shows your interests. Like here, it's got 10 comments. Those comments are important. People are engaged with that. And that's also going to help grow your network and the people that you know.
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up, Sean, because I've actually literally gotten messages from people that I didn't even know for actually job opportunities based on a post that I posted. So there's additional sections too. So like we showed a little bit of the volunteer. If you are a researcher or public, someone who writes a lot, there's an area where you can put publications, patents, your honors and awards, all the different things that are over here. So these are some things that are optional that you might want to consider to add to your profile. Is there anything I'm missing, Sean, with this?
No, you're probably going to get to it, but I just wanted to say LinkedIn is one of the social networks that has been around for a long time. It's not going to go anywhere. When I was younger, we used MySpace. MySpace is gone. Facebook came about. Facebook is slowly kind of going away. Instagram, that seems to slowly be going away. All these systems come and go, they flow out. But LinkedIn has been around for a long time. It continues to grow. It's not going anywhere. It's a professional network, a social professional network. This is the one you want to be on. This is the one you really want to take care of and make yours and demonstrate you because it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So one of the great things that people often forget that you can get on LinkedIn is you can get recommended by people. So if like Sean and I, if we work together, even if we didn't work together, but when I was in the HR profession and we met each other at a conference and we started sharing a lot of information together and so forth. And if we felt we knew each other well enough, I could ask him for an endorsement or a recommendation and vice versa. He could ask me. And what's great about that is, again, people will find you based on those recommendations at times. So this is just an example here. This is my profile, which isn't the best, I'll be honest. It can be definitely improved. But all the way in the bottom, I probably have 30 or so recommendations from people that I've worked with, and I've given recommendations as well. So people that know Felicia and know Rachel, they will see a lot of this information. And hopefully, I'd like to believe you wouldn't ask for a recommendation from someone who's not going to give you a good recommendation. But it really goes far because people then see. I've had people that know Felicia that have reached out to me after she had posted this. So there's a lot of good opportunities to gather that. And you don't just ask anyone for a recommendation. You ask the people that really know you well and that have worked well with you.
My former boss asked me for a recommendation and I wrote one for her because we had a good relationship. I thought she was a really good manager. And so, yeah, I was more than happy to write a recommendation for her.
Yeah,
You never know.
definitely, definitely. Then there's the interest section. So the kids usually at the bottom of the profile that has the different companies that you might follow, which is a good thing because again, the more you follow these companies, again, you sometimes will be on their feed. And I would engage on LinkedIn as well. So if you are interested in, if I was interested in Stoladi and I looked at their site and I looked at it carefully and they were posting different things, I would make it a point to comment on those things, showing my knowledge of what I have on what they're doing at their organization. So you can have all the different influencers that are out there. There's a bunch of people that are experts in your field. It's good to get that information as well, and different professional groups too. I know there's like the American Marketing Associations out there. The Society for Human Resource Management is there as well. You can join those groups and you can see what they post on a daily basis, and most of them have jobs as well. So
As
again, yeah, go ahead.
I was just to say, as part of my marketing job, we utilize LinkedIn. So I'll go on and connect with companies that are in buildings that we want to manage,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to find out what's going on in their building. Are they happy? Are they complaining about something? What are they posting? How can we get our foot in the door? Same thing that you all are doing. You're creating your profile, you're connecting with people so you can get your foot in the door and be recognized to come get that job. It
Yeah.
all connections.
Yeah, so it will signal, it can signal your career direction. So if I am following Stoladi and then also following Stoladi's competitors, and if Sean looked at my LinkedIn page and he could see and he was like, oh, wow, okay, he knows about our industry. He's
Yep,
looking at different things.
right.
And so definitely utilize it to the best of your ability there. Then these are some next steps here. Develop a list. So if you're not on LinkedIn already, or even if you are on LinkedIn, kind of look at a list of contacts that you might have in there and start to reach out to people. Develop a correspondence out there and say who you are. You know, you're looking for advice on XYZ job. So maybe I met Sean for the first time and I'm really interested in breaking through and doing what he's doing. Because I see that he left just doing HR and now he's doing a lot of different things. And right now I'm solely doing HR and I want to kind of pursue what he's already pursued. So I might comment on that and noticing that from his profile and try to get some time with him to learn more about what he did to get to where he is.
Mhm.
So these are just some examples of things that you can say, start to do that networking, and then always thank them. So if I were to meet with Sean, I'm always going to come back and thank him, and I'm probably going to send not just a generic thank you, but something that resonated that we had discussed that I really appreciated, even if I didn't get too much or what I originally wanted to get out of him. I'm going to try to share with as much as I can with him as well.
Because you never know when your name might pop up and be like, you know what? I was talking to a student at George Mason. They would be great for this position. You never know what's going to happen with that connection.
So these are a lot of additional resources, and you'll have this again. What's good about some of these, like the LinkedIn Career Explorer, the Future Skills, and so forth, it really gives you an idea of the different industries and the jobs that are out there, and you can kind of get a better feel for what are the skills required in that specific profession. And then LinkedIn Learning, I can't rave enough about it because you can really gain some additional skills. If I'm interested in project management, there's a lot of project management classes that are there. Interested in learning Tableau, I can even go in there and learn Tableau. So a lot of things that can enhance, even if you already have that skill, but you want to brush up on it or gain even more knowledge of it. There are a lot of self-paced classes that you don't have to worry about being at a place at a certain time to do it. Any other resources that you've seen on LinkedIn that's not on here, Sean?
No, I think you've pretty much covered almost everything that I was thinking of. So kudos to you, Jay.
Right here. This is a sample LinkedIn profile. So this is something when you click on that link, you can see it. So if you're having trouble or if you've never created your own LinkedIn, this is just an example. Obviously, it's a cartoon face, but if you would put your actual profile and then whatever background as we had already mentioned, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of the person. So this person does put they're a marketing student, but they also show that they're looking at digital marketing. And then it's a demonstration profile. So it tells you about section, gives you some of the context of what they've put on for their job, um, and then their education over here. And then you can even look here. If you clicked on here, You can see all the different skills that this individual has. Then any licenses and certifications that they had, their volunteer experience, honors and awards, languages, and so forth. Here's the interest that I had mentioned earlier. So this person has LinkedIn and the Harvard Business Review as some of a lot of people, as you start to use this more, you'll start to have more interest in companies because you're following those companies and they're going to be on here. And so here, I want to see all companies here. So this person's following a lot. They're doing CNN, George Mason as well, ICF, Business Insider, so many different things that they're following. And there's no limit to what you're following. And it's also sometimes good to follow your own school, but even other schools too. If you're looking at grad school in the future, or you're just curious to see what's going on at other schools. Sometimes I follow schools and I found that they had free AI courses that I can do so I can learn new things in AI.
Can you click skills just to see? I think there were 34 skills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to give people an idea of.
Yeah. So there it's all across. And they show also where this person got the experience from.
So this person's interested in marketing, but they have a ton of IT experience. So for me, I'd be like, would this person be interested in working with computers and such?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things you can tell by a person and the skills that they're placing on their profile. But that's just one example. When you go on there too, you'll be able to see more profiles for you as well. So some of the profiles that maybe people they think you might resonate with, and you'll see some people that you're already connected with as well. These are premium profiles that are out there. People that I might know. So this is always a good thing because it's nice to be able to immediately connect. And here's a tip too: when you connect with somebody, and if you have not met them before, maybe you met them once, please send a message to them if you can and tell them that you're connecting with them and how you met them. Because I know myself, I'm sure Sean has received this too. I've received so many messages, especially from students, just asking to connect and not even telling me where I met them. And we meet like so many students every day. And so it's hard to keep track of people. And it's not against anything against you as a student. We just want you to know how we found you. And more than likely, we're probably going to accept that invitation. And then if you send us a message again in the future, reminding us how we met you and what you learned from the experience, we'll probably take some time in the future as well to sit down with you further if you'd like to learn more about careers and so forth. Sean, what else about LinkedIn are we missing? Because we're almost near the tail end. I think we went through it pretty quickly. Here's some of our LinkedIn groups for all of you all to know. I would definitely join these LinkedIn groups if you haven't already. Again, I'll be providing this presentation to you. So if you don't join now, you can always refer to it and join a little bit later. So there's a great group for International Costello College of Business networking. And then also the Costello Career Collective, which has a lot of really, cool information about what's going on and so forth.
The only thing I would add, because it's social media, do not forget this is your footprint. This is what's going to be out there about you. So watch what you put. You want to always be appropriate. This is a professional website, social media platform. So keep it professional. The picture that he showed you, you want it to be professional. It's not one of those selfies in the mirror or something type of social media. Save that for Instagram or Facebook or whatever. This is all about your footprint, your professional footprint. So you always want to make sure that it is professional and the things that you're engaging in as far as content that people are posting, the school content and stuff, that all follows you. So make sure you are very careful with what you're saying and stuff because employers are watching it. So
yeah. Yeah, and what's good, and if we go back to LinkedIn, I'll go back to my profile again, and Sean, we can share your profile if you would like me to. I wanted to ask before. So again, like I said, mine has some work to do. I think I could make mine a little bit better, but I did, say who I was. And this is actually my old about. I need to change this as well because I've changed careers since then. But when I was in human resources, this is what I wanted to resonate with people of what I did and what I was all about. And then I'm not as active as I should be, but I do put activity. Like Costello recently used my photo for an event that they're going to have for a workshop. So I shared it, and what was interesting, I had 59 people um, respond to it in some way. And then people commented that I haven't spoken to in so long. And it was really, really nice to hear back from them. And they were like, we need to reconnect,
Mhm.
just from that one little post. And you can also share things as you're working. If you're trying to find someone to fill a position that you have, it's a good way to find good talent to work for you in your organization. So when you go here too, you will go and you will see. Let me move a little bit here. Let's get back to the home. This is where you'll see all the feeds. So I've recently been involved in. I'm glad that they put this up here because I've been doing some work with ALPFA at George Mason, and I've been really, really amazed by the work that they've done. But they're showing the opportunities that they worked on. They're sharing things. Oh, they even put my name here. I didn't even know that they would do that, but they did. And so I will come back here and I will comment on this. And then I will share it with my network as well. So more people are going to be exposed to these students that have joined me for that event. Here's ExxonMobil. If I'm interested in ExxonMobil, I can follow them. It tells me about what's going on in their organization. This is someone that I know who has done a workshop on something. I used to work for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, so it shows me a little bit of what they're doing in their hiring, so I can still see what's going on. And so this is all based on things that you follow. There's someone who works here at George Mason, a fellow coach that I worked with, but you can interact with different things, and it also shows jobs that are recommended for you. So based on how you utilize the system, it'll recommend positions and opportunities that you can easily see and you can save to your profile so that you can, get feeds for that particular opportunity. So there's a lot of good opportunities. Sean, do you want me to show yours?
Oh, I was going to say, actually, Tiffany has a really good question for you. She
Yeah.
says, are you keeping in contact with your connections regularly, intentionally?
Good question, Tiffany. I do. I really try to. I mean, when you look at LinkedIn, there's a lot of different tiers of connections, right? There's the connections of people that you just met at a conference or maybe met once, and you just want to connect because they're a good professional, or they're a student that you worked with, and so forth. But then there's other ones that you really worked very closely with, and that are in your industry, and you have really shared a lot of information back and forth. Those people I always try to intentionally keep track of. So, like, I always look through my network probably twice a year. Maybe probably should look at it more. And I make it a point, especially in the new year, to reach out to the people that I haven't reached out to in a while that I've always been meaning to reach out to. And I just take a minute to send a quick message. Hey, Sean, thank you for last semester when you did the LinkedIn seminar with us. It was really, really good. I learned a lot from you, and I was glad we connected and we've stayed in touch all this time. Yeah. So
And
yep.
I was just saying, and it even tells you when people's birthdays are, kind of
Yes.
like the other social media platforms. So
Yes.
it kind of reminds you like, hey, reach out to this person. It's your connection. It's been a while. So yeah, you definitely want to keep up, especially with those that you're close with. If you pull mine up, I think I have thousands of connections. I don't
Yeah.
know them all. I have
So
connections.
there's a lot of Sean Williams. So this is another
Yeah,
good
second
example.
one.
So there's a lot of examples here. So when you have a lot of Sean Williams, you could maybe see the face in the photo, but it's good to know the organization they're from too. So
That
with Sean, he's told me already that it's this
one.
one. So I'm going to actually connect with him, but I'll do that
Yeah.
later. And I'm going to actually, when I do connect with him, like, I'm not just going to click on connect. I'm probably going to go here and
Send profile and a
send
message.
it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to send a message so that he knows who I am and how we met and so forth. But see, Sean's is pretty good too. So I like this. This is actually very attractive in terms of just the use of graphics, and a lot of people at work and doing different things.
There you go. So why do you think I picked that picture? Let's
It's a
see if
good
anybody
question.
knows.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So
If
on
I
the chat,
if I'm in HR, who do I deal with? People. So that is people in their everyday lives.
yeah. So I mean, he has some highlights over here, so that I can see. I can see his about again of who he is. He's just some things that were featured, his activity. So again, I can look at it. So he's hiring. He's hiring for a community association manager. So if I knew someone in my network that might be good for this, that's something again where I can connect with Sean again. So maybe he doesn't have a job for me in HR or whatever I do, that and he can't help me right now from a standpoint of an actual job, but I can help him. in terms of, because I know someone really good who could do this position. So I would probably send a quick message to him or even a private message to him, or I'd respond to his post and say, hey, Sean, I think I know somebody. I'll send you a message with their details.
And if we were to connect, if Jay and I were to connect, he could actually repost my post. So now on
Yes.
his network, they're seeing that there's this job opening. So
Yeah.
that's how a lot of jobs, again, with your connections, your networking, a lot of jobs are getting filled because it's like, oh, I know someone that knows someone that, and we're posting, we're sharing that information that
Yeah.
there's these jobs out there.
Yeah. And Sean has 5,633 followers. So that's a lot of people. A lot of people. But you can see all his posts if you wanted to look at the past of what he's posted. You can go on here, and that would be good. And then I can see all the different work experiences he's had, and it's also, as we showed you earlier, the different skills that he possesses. And so, if I was interested in a career in what he's doing, or even in a type of firm that he had, this is where I would look. He's got his licenses, certifications, all his different skills, and he's got more about 53 plus skills here. So it's a lot. And then he also has a bunch of recommendations that he's done. So, and then he's following certain places as well. He's involved in certain groups, so I can look at the groups. He's got the newsletters as well. So this is like a different newsletters. So maybe if I don't know why he's following careers in Morocco, but maybe I do because I love Morocco and I've always wanted to go to Morocco. So maybe I would even send Sean a message and say, hey, I see you're following careers in Morocco. What's your connection to Morocco?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a lot of ways where you can engage and you can connect with different people. And I'll tell you, I was also one of the naysayers in the beginning of LinkedIn. I actually, the short story is I met with the one of the founders or one of the generators of LinkedIn. I was just out of college, out of my master's program. I was a consultant for PwC, and I thought I knew everything. And then he came up to me and said, "We have this new platform. We think it's going to be really big, and it's going to allow professionals to share information." I'm like, why would I want to do that? I told him, I was like, I don't want people to know my information, blah, 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 blah. And this was before social media became really, really big. Next thing you know, it was huge, and it's one of the biggest platforms that's out there. So,
And this is
but
the one platform I wasn't against. I was against Facebook. I was against Instagram. I still am. But
yeah,
LinkedIn, I was like, yes, I'm going to do it because professional. To
yeah,
me, your profession is very important. It's what's going to lead you to your success wherever you want to go. So, yeah. Someone else has you mentioned interacting with other people's posts on earlier. Is it
yeah,
worth it to write LinkedIn posts ourselves?
yeah. I'll let you, Sean, answer that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're a good writer, I'm not the best writer. I like to write, but I'm not the best. Yeah, if you like to write, you like to post things, that is even more engaging for people because it's like, wow, this person wrote their own little post about something.
Mhm.
That's huge. Like I said, I'll go to posts and comment or kind of give my opinions about things. That's great. But writing your own kind of making a stance, that's really good and exciting. So definitely if you want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so Manavi definitely highly encourage that. And
Mhm.
if you, like as Sean said, if you're good at writing or if you're good with social media or whatever you might be really good at, start to write about it because I know people that actually have started to write about things and now they're having a tremendous following
Yep.
because they're sharing their knowledge. So each and every one of us has some type of knowledge. And if you share it, and yes, it might seem cumbersome, it might seem like it takes time, but as you start to do it, and if you're really good at it and it's something that you love and enjoy, it becomes second nature. And you just take a couple minutes to do it. And then next thing you know it, people are following you left and right
You could be the next social media influencer on LinkedIn. You
on
never
LinkedIn.
know.
And from a job search standpoint, that's the type of influencer you definitely
Yeah,
want to be.
exactly.
Uh,
What
so,
other questions do you guys have?
yeah. Any other questions? Again, we have Sean here, and we got about a few more minutes left. Definitely take advantage of having an employer like him here with us.
Like I said, I've been at George Mason. We sponsor some events there. It's really important that we are involved in the community. We want to help you all learn and grow, find your future careers. So connect with me. I have lots of connections with recruiters. So I can help you with that as well, help you build your LinkedIn page, whatever it is I can do to help, I'm here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, thank you for that offer, Sean. And I encourage each and every one of you students to take advantage of that because it's always good to connect with people that are out there in the field. Even if Sean's company is not what you're looking for, a lot of the work that his company does can be transferable and tailored to another company in a different industry.
I've done HR. I do HR, so I know
Yeah.
how important it is to connect you with the right companies that you want for your goals, for your career. So a
Are
lot
there
of
any?
thank yous. Thank you all for showing up
Yeah.
and enjoying this presentation with us. It's really great to see how many people showed up and took advantage of this. I thank you all.
Any other last minute questions for Sean? We definitely appreciate all the thank yous. And if you have any questions about your own LinkedIn, or if you don't have one, or you're struggling to put one together, here's our information again. We LinkedIn is one of the subjects that we cover. We do cover letters, resumes, handshake, job search strategies, and so forth. So we here at the Costello College of Business Office of Career Services, we're here for you. We want each and every one of you to succeed and to do well. And don't hesitate to reach out to us. Um,
Yeah, definitely take advantage of the resources you have. When I was in college, I didn't have a lot of resources at my availability. It was a lot of me doing it myself. George Mason is tremendous with this. They are really helpful, a lot of resources. They even have a camera you can go take your headshot with, which blows my mind. So utilize it, take advantage of it. You're paying the tuition, utilize it.
and one of the good things about again George Mason and the Costello College of Business, unlike most schools, we offer lifetime career services. So I know for a fact because I've used career services as a professional, it can cost hundreds of dollars to meet with a professional to talk about the things that we're talking about here today. Without further ado, really want to thank Sean for your time. I'm definitely going to connect with you and hope we keep in touch and appreciate all the insights that you shared with our students and your support for our university. And we definitely look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you, students, for attending, and I hope to see you at the next event that I'm at.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. And I'll be sending out this presentation in the very near future.
Thank you all.